Hi guys, in today's episode, we are going to sit down and talk to Kieran, who is a really cool guy from Oakland, California, which is awesome because that's also where I'm from, Northern California represent. And I'm really excited to talk to him about his journey of how he got here to Germany, to Coconut Space, out here in the middle of the wilderness at this co-living retreat. He's had a lot of really interesting things happen to him in his life, and I'm really excited to share all of those with you because I think they're going to resonate with you. So without further ado, let's get right into the episode. Before we get started, we just want to give a shout out to Office R&D, who is our sponsor on today's episode. They are a co-working management software company that helps workspaces around the world deliver better experiences to their customers. They share our values of promoting and championing remote work, and they've been our biggest supporters since day one. Okay, so let's continue. I'm so excited to talk to you today, Kieran. And one thing that I think is really great to start the conversation with is, why are you here? Like, what sparks you to be here at Coconut, a co-living, co-working place? Because that's not necessarily your background, but what is your motivation?
Yeah, I mean, it started a little ways back. In 2013, I was working for Nickelodeon, doing mobile game development in San Francisco. And I kind of worked my way up pretty quickly, and I was from a 3D animator. I was doing game development or game design and art direction. And the company just decided to do restructuring. They basically fired everybody in the office and shut it down. So, it gave me this real sense, like, first of all, that all the creative brain power was just disposable to them. And I had the option then of going to continuing game development. And at that same time, I learned there was a report basically where a programmer came out and talked about mobile game development and how they had under the hood been engineering it basically to make people addicted to these free to play games. So they'll keep on and targeting very specifically using, information technology to target the biggest addicts kind of. And I thought, well, this would be in my career, like the next step is to go even further into that. Nickelodeon wasn't that bad at that time. So but that would have been the next logical step. And I was just like, I can't do this, And I'd always wanted to, I'd saved up some money and I'd always wanted to discover my roots. And my mom is German. Like growing up in America, it just kind of gets washed into the the soup, and you kind of, it's really hard to hold on to like a cultural identity in that. And so I'd always wanted to really discover it. And so I'd saved up some money and I just got on a plane and I came to Germany.
Nice.
Yeah, I had planned just to stay for 2 or 3 months, and I ended up getting into a relationship. That didn't work out, but it was interesting because for me it was really exploring something that parts of myself that I hadn't had the time or even the mental kind of capacity, because I was just in the hustle, where's the next job, kind of mode. And when I first came to Germany, I attended this conference in 3D tech and animation. And it was so funny because I remember leaving this conference one day and I was walking across this plaza, and on the other side of the plaza there was this cafe, and it was about 4 p.m. and all these people were just these adults, like 40 something people were sitting around really relaxed, totally relaxed, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday, really talking to one another and being utterly relaxed. And my reaction was like, what's wrong with these people? Like, is this a holiday? What are they doing here? Why are they so relaxed? And I just caught myself then, and I was like, whoa, I really need to learn what they're doing, because this is great. They're here really with each other, and they're completely relaxed and at ease, and it just wasn't in my psychology, because that wasn't in my training.
Oh, I resonate with that. We have such a workaholic culture in the States, especially in California.
Mm-hmm.
But so what is it that resonates with you about this space? Like what?
Yeah.
You're like, how do you hope that this changes things here?
Well, I came down first, and I just for a workshop, and I just really, it was a productivity workshop, and I really just liked the vibe. It was very friendly. It was very open. It was just playful and a little bit wacky too. Things were not planned. Stuff happened, that it wasn't supposed to. Like, we had one dinner go awry or something like that, and so we were as guests, we were also in it together, and I just really loved the positive energy here and the friendliness, and it was this nice mixture kind of a little bit the concepts of kind of maybe a part of Germany and a part of America kind of coming together, the inner parts, of like the friendliness, but it's also, it's work oriented, it's project oriented. So I really like that. And I love the idea of, being in a collaborative, a communal kind of space, but you're working on something creative, a creative project. There's kind of a bigger purpose. It's not just you and your little laptop or you and your little world there, like I've found in co-working spaces where it's just kind of felt pretty isolating, even when they tried to make it community. It just didn't click. But this idea of living together, sharing meals together, and then collaborating, and all, my ideal is also to collaborate, that we contribute back to the region, that we find a way to really integrate in constructive ways and help the area. And so that's really an exciting part of it.
Yeah, because I think we were asking me about that the other day, like, is Other Spaces doing what Coconut is doing here? Mm-hmm. So which parts of Coconut do you hope expand and grow?
Well, I love this idea of, it's almost like a creative campus type of concept, where people come. It's a holistic kind of a thing that I really love about the potential of this place. It's living also in nature in a more relaxed atmosphere, where we can be inspired by the surroundings, and I also have that, like, the spiritual meditation and yoga is really important to me, and good food, and coming together and having that warmth and sense of kind of family and team. But yeah, it's I like that. I wish that concept of this kind of creative community, that's doing work that has an impact, that has specific aims. It's not just like, I'm here being creative, like it has there's a focus to it, and yet you have this holistic kind of life that I was so missing in the States. Like, everybody's in their little box, they go to their work box, they go to their home box, and you don't have much time like in between there. And I just felt like I just found it so depressing. It's like, this is so unnatural. Like, there's a serious vitamin that we need, nutrient, that's just missing from this entire scenario. And you can't fake it. Like, it's just not there.
That's like what motivated you to go seek out this.
At least to let me see what else is out there. And then when I found this, it was like, well, I want to see how this evolves. I want to stay close to it and see where it's going. I hope that aspect of it will continue to evolve, the longer term residency type of a situation, or long-term resident. But we'll have to see,
I mean, I love the fact that like when we first met you, we all had a drink over there. We were just like having some tea, and then the next day we had breakfast together, and then we were co-working together last night. You were working on your animation and working, and then I just like and all these different situations we're connecting where maybe normally you'd only see each other at work, you'd only hang out with each other,
and you wouldn't get to know like, well, what's underneath this person, like, you know, what fires them up, what's some of their dreams. That's also the promise kind of this type of environment, that people can support each other in that type of development, that work evolves really, that work evolves into like, I'm not doing this to make money, but I'm actually, what can I give that adds to people's lives? Like, what can I offer for myself?
If you could have what you wanted, like if that met your needs for this whole remote workation movement, what would that be? Like, what is the paradise?
My ideal, the nirvana. Well, you know, I'm still in my wanderer mode, so like it would be awesome if there were multiple locations around the world that were connected in some way, that I knew were cool and I could go to, and that had a similar understanding in a way of these elements of kind of like human life, like, and what it can be like. But one is, I would love to have this kind of long-term residency type situation also, and be clear about it too. Like, this is my intention for this time, is to do this, but also be available for, you know, maybe some collaborative projects or something like that. And then, skill sharing is also, and teaching one another is also super fun, and it adds a lot to everybody. And so I'd love that kind of learning environment there too, and have that be a kind of a component on its own. And then, living together, sharing meals, and having this communal experience, but also with the privacy enough to that you have your own space and you have your own time, and it's you can create that, you have that balance. And I also love the spiritual aspect of it, that there's a little bit intention, like, okay, or structure that's available, that you can have in the day. It's not like the 100% focus, but it's there as kind of one of the layers of it.
Yeah, and I see that balance here of like all the meals, everyone comes together, but then you're able to work on your stuff.
Right.
And in the evenings, everyone kind of has more relaxed together.
Right.
And I love that you're going to lead a meditation for us. So that's something that's happening. Tell me about that really fast.
Yeah, well, I'd started this meditation and nature group in California. And it's funny because I started it through Meetup, and I got like over 500 people signing up for it. No, it's really like, so it was just a shock to see that happen, because then I realized, wow, that's really a need. They didn't all show up, of course, which is good too. But the fact that it just clicked right away was something that I thought, okay, this really connects, and it's something that people need. And so I was working on that format, like what format would help facilitate people to get into a meditative state, to lose the tension and the busy mind stuff. And so I developed this kind of format of hiking, and more in the Bay Area is like more rigorous hikes. Here it's not, I can't quite do that. Everything's really flat as a pancake, but so, and I integrated that also with this forest bathing concept from Japan, and I teach a meditation technique that I've been doing for about 35 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the coolest skill shares I've ever heard of.
Yeah, cool.
I'm really excited to experience it. And thank you for letting us take the time to sit. And I'm positive there's like 1,000 people out there just like you that are like, oh my God, that's the person that I needed to hear that from. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I really loved talking to Kieran. I think that I resonated with the workaholic culture that we have in the States and in California. And I love that he was able to come here and get what he needed out of the co-living space. And I think that that's so true. There's so many of us that want to believe in a bigger picture. We want to believe that we can change and make the world a better place. And I think that's why we're all here in some way. And so it was really great talking to him. I feel inspired by what he's doing. And I love that he's into meditation and taking care of his body. So all of those things are awesome. I'm so happy I got to meet him. And if you liked the episode, hit like at the bottom of this. And if you love us, subscribe to our channel, and we cannot wait to see you next time. Bye guys.